Alright, it's time to do another update video. Been pretty busy. A lot of stuff on the go, and I haven't done too much for YouTube videos for a while. Basically, just been insanely busy. Trying to edit YouTube videos takes a bit of time and everything too. So I'll try and put this together as like a seamless video explaining some of the things I'm working on. I've been here. This building is actually the marine motorcycle building where we teach marine and motorcycle mechanics here at Vancouver Island University. I have been given the privilege of using this shop through the summer when it's empty, and I get to build some projects. So right now I'm going to start a couple big projects. I've got a few things I've been working on in here in my spare time up until this point. A lot of good stuff on the go. The students usually seem to really like me, as far as I can tell. I'm always able to give them some pretty good advanced information with where the industry is going with electrics, electric vehicles, all that stuff. Then on top of that, also I've built my own fuel injection system, as I have a video for my Roadrunner that I sold last September, and got a really good understanding on electrical period, and then overall mechanics. Licensed motorcycle mechanic is my first trade, and was really good at it. One of the best probably, but I evolved into this electrical thing because it's just so exciting. There's so many challenges. That's what keeps me going. I find I get pretty bored if I'm always doing tire changes and oil changes and all that stuff. So some of the things I'm working on. Here is a gear reduction for a Nissan Leaf motor. I'll switch the camera view, I think, if it lets me. It might not let me. But anyways, here's a Nissan Leaf gear reduction. This right here spins at a reduction. The input from the motor, the shaft right here, spins at a reduction of 7.94 to 1. I would like to try and figure out how to change that to 6 to 1 overall reduction. Unfortunately, this shaft can't just go against this gear off the output. I would also like to figure out how to change these spider gears that go inside the actual differential to something that's more of a like a posi or something. So I've seen some of those ones that you can do phantom grip, and a few of them put pressure between these two gears and push apart, and that goes inside this housing right here. Each of these is what drives a CV shaft essentially. So I'd like to try and figure something out like with that, and also something that can accept more power. One of the reasons I want to accept more power is my big controller I'm developing. This should be able to do some insane power. These IGBTs are phase legs. Each one is one phase leg, and they're able to do 1400 amps at 96 degrees Celsius, and the new version's at 126 degrees Celsius. They're rated for 1200 volts, so this might go as high as a 600 volt system eventually. First, I'm going to try and get it up to 470. That's going to be just to test it. I'm already set up to run with my own drivers here. These are drivers I've developed that'll drive each IGBT. And then I still have a Lebowski brain board. I'm going to get it all running with that. Well, I'm developing something that I have another surprise for everybody. I have Underground Electrics. My business has joined, well, I still have Underground Electrics, but I have joined forces with 3 other people that I've met through working in the industry. We've done some contracts together over the last couple of years, and we found we worked really well together, so we registered powerdesigns.ca. We are developing a few different things, a few different motor controllers, specializing in EV power designs essentially. That's actually our legal business name, is EV Power Designs. We brought Axiom to market. Right now Axiom is a open source 100 kilowatt controller. So on that note, I just bought another car. This car is about to get a motor in the front and probably a motor in the back. This is going to be a lot of work. So the plan is to run an Axiom up front, which will do around 100 kilowatts continuous. We might be able to peak some more, so I'm going to try and prove. I always find the peaks. More power is always better. Probably going to need around 200 horsepower to the front wheels in this thing. I'm going to need as much as I can at the rear wheels if this thing's going to be able to do what I want to do. Also, the reason I want to change the gearing to 6-to-1 instead of 7.95 or 7.94. So the 6-to-1 gearing should give me about a 190 to 200 mile an hour top speed depending on tire diameters. That's a big goal. How I'm going to do that? Well, right here I have some trailer arms just from another Civic to try and test stuff. I bought a Nissan Leaf gear bearing. Basically the plan is right here on this part of the flange where the hub used to mount for the rear drum brakes is to modify this so that I can mount that right there, run the CV shaft right in through the back of this. And it should be somewhat simple. The twisting force from the acceleration from the torque is not on this trailing arm. Sorry. A lot of people think, oh my God, you're going to put power to that trailing arm. It's going to twist all over the place. No, this does not twist. This only twists when you apply the brakes. So I'll make sure the brakes aren't too strong on the back. But this is going to actually not twist because the twisting is going to be from the motor housing, which is in the center of the rear of the car. On that note, I have a Nissan Leaf motor apart. This is my second Nissan Leaf motor. Right now I need to put some bearings on the rotor. You can see the rotor here. It's pretty cool. It's a smooth IPM rotor. Those are a bunch of laminations. Inside there's a bunch of magnets slid inside there. And you can see this line in the middle. They've actually shifted them a bit. And I believe that's actually to give it a more, like a better sine wave, a cleaner sine wave, essentially. Quite a bit of neat stuff there. So I'm changing out the bearings in this. As you can see, there's some corrosion and stuff. Basically happened because I got these motors because they're full of salt water. So basically some pretty serious stuff, but the motor is pretty simple. Like I'll go back to look at it. The actual windings really didn't get much salt water on them at all. If you look at that. That's the inside of the stator. It's pretty cool. This whole motor, just the motor, weighs 120 pounds. I am, in the future, planning another build with this as well. So I'm going to need Leaf motors. If anybody out there, I have a Patreon account and everything. Anybody wants to send money, that's great. But I'm not really one of those kinds of people like to beg like that and everything. But anybody wants to help with work, with donating parts, just giving me thumbs up, all that stuff. You know, anything helps. But at the end of the day, anybody has any EV parts, anything. I have a friend who donated a box of Tesla smart fuses. I'm going to be using those for something that's much better than your old EV fuse. There's my Supermoto I ride daily. Still riding it, got 25,000 K on it. So, another project I've been working on. This is a CRF 250R I picked up probably 2 months ago. I started designing my own jack shaft housing. What I'm going to do on this is run a jack shaft from the motor. This is a zero motor, 75 7 IPM R motor. Really easy to spin that rotor. I'm going to run a single stage or dual stage reduction, probably 11 tooth here, 15 tooth here, then coming around to the other side. Going to run a 12 tooth Honda here and a 55 inch tooth sprocket there. That'll give me about a 90 mile an hour top speed. Just perfect top speed and lots of power. Also got a Sevcon size 6 shoved in there. Yeah, I can develop my own controller, but don't need to right now. I have that kicking around. You can get those cheap these days. This thing's going to be a rocket. I have a couple dirt bikes I ride. One of them has a size 6 with a 75/7, and it's a wheelie king. It's amazing, but it's a really crappy chassis, honestly. It's a factory Zero MX FX chassis. They're not that great. Sorry, Zero. Hopefully you guys can build a real dirt bike one day. That's why I'm building this anyway. Want a real dirt bike. This is going to be a little heavy still, probably 15 to 25 pounds over what a factory MX 450 would be nowadays, but it's going to have more power. Runtime, I'm hoping to use a 2018 or newer Zero long brick. If I have to, I'll build my own battery, but when you have somebody else who's already built and potted and done all the environmental testing and designed a battery enclosure and all that stuff, it's better just to use it if you can get your hands on one for a reasonable price. So even if I have to, I might purchase that. I got a 3D printer this year, been printing like crazy. So I started with this. This is the first jack shaft housing just as a test. As you can see, I made some notes on there so I could actually change things, because I just measured that location with a measured the location of where I wanted all of this stuff with a tape measure and some calipers and stuff. Underneath you can see I put a little carve out to reduce the weight. Plan is to put some brackets right here that bolt to it. I have a bracket that comes across the motor and then comes down and bolts to the top of that. And then that's also supported at the swing arm in the back there. So it's should be a pretty good system when it's done, and I think it'll be pretty easy to build. I got a friend who's gonna hopefully machine that fairly soon for me. lots of fun stuff. And then a friend of mine, Doug, shoved his supermoto he built in my van when I was down in Tacoma a couple of years ago. Well, about a year ago. Haven't really done much with this. I've been kind of robbing parts from it, but he's designed it to accept a third zero brick right here in the front. So it's pretty cool. You know, not sure if I have an intended use. I still have my bike, a red daily. Maybe I'll just put the plate on this and ride it around. It's a pretty sweet bike though. It would definitely do, with the size 6 Sevcon on there, definitely do probably 70-ish horsepower. So lots of stuff on the go. I think I've covered most things. I'll put some links below in the description and everything, and I will be doing build videos on all these different projects. I don't think I'll get them all done through the summer. Plan is to get this car mostly converted in the summer, have both motors mounted, all that stuff, the wheels turning and everything. Might not have all the battery brackets and all that stuff done, but I should have something where I can just put a couple batteries, even at a couple hundred volts, and drive it home at the end of the summer and then put it in storage through the winter. We'll see if I can find it. That's another thing I could use as another shop. Once we have students in here, we're pretty busy, and that being busy in here means there's no space to bring a big project like this car in and work on it. So at that point I'll probably do some testing. Other than that, some of the things that have been keeping me busy, last year I'd mentioned in another video that my wife got MS. She didn't get diagnosed with it until November. She basically woke up super dizzy July 11th last year and couldn't walk, falling down. Had her in the ER 3 times in the first week. That was pretty crazy. She's now back to work 4 days a week, so that's good. We also have a 2.5-year-old son. He keeps us pretty busy. Teaching him how to ride bikes lately. Basically, I'm one of the best dirt bikers there ever was, probably. Whoa! Well, not saying I never crash. Whoa, 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 whoa! Jesus! But I know how to go fast. Isaac's learning from me. He's doing pretty good. Stay tuned, like and subscribe. I'll show you all the cool projects as I'm putting them together. Another thing anybody wants to help on, for sure, you know, again with the Patreon thing or whatever, I'm happy to have people help any way they can. If somebody thinks they can help me develop or change or design or change the gear ratio in this, whatever we got to do, the sooner the better, because I want to try and mount all this stuff in the car like ASAP. This car's coming apart starting today. I'm draining the oil, pulling the gas motor out. I'm hoping to have the motor out and the gas tank out today, so got work to do. Cheers.